Yes, I welcome you all to another very interesting lesson for today for English as we continue our English lessons. I think today, for today's lesson, we will have writing. As you all know, writing is a very important component of English, one of the skills of English, and it's good for us to be able to write on our own, use the correct follow the correct rules of writing and apply them very well. Today we are looking at writing for tests, and specifically this lesson will cover writing a letter to the editor. Well, let me give you a background. An editor is someone who heads a newspaper. Sometimes we see newspapers that we buy and read, or maybe we've come across newspapers that we read, right? But we don't know the process through which newspapers are written or are prepared. Who are the people responsible? How they get the materials that they include in their newspapers. Okay, I will give you a brief. Someone whose name I will disclose very shortly wrote a letter to the editor of a newspaper. We will read what the content of what he wrote to the editor of this newspaper, and then we find out what he was trying to highlight in this letter. First, let's see some basic things. I will read what this person wrote to the editor of this newspaper. The page is shared on your screen. To the editor, the Oregon Street Park is in desperate need of repair and renovation. Between the crumbling pavement of the basketball and tennis courts and rusty broken slides and swing sets, the park is unsafe for the many children who visit it daily. The park must be fixed before someone gets hurt. First, the park must be cleaned up. Broken bottles and pieces of litter are scattered all over the ground. My 5th grade class at Windbar Elementary has arranged a field trip to clean up the park. We will gather at Oregon Park at 9 a.m. on October 11th. We ask our neighbors in the community to join us and help clean up our park. Next, we ask the members of the city government to visit the park and see the problems for themselves. It is up to the city government to remove the old broken parts of the park and replace them with safe new materials. Specifically, we believe that the basketball and tennis courts, along with the slides and swing sets, should be replaced. If we work together as a community, we could have the safest, cleanest, and most enjoyable park around. A new park will provide the community with a place to meet, to exercise, and to play. We students are ready to make this change. We hope we can count on your support of the adults in our community. Thank you, Cooper Jackson, Windbar Elementary School. Now, let's discuss the content of this article or this letter that someone wrote to the editor. First thing I want to ask, or I want us to pick out, is that the writer of this letter is called Cooper Jackson, right? And Cooper wrote from Windbar Elementary School. Let's see what he told the editor of this newspaper. First of all, let's reason out why he sent this letter to the editor. He sent this letter to the editor of a newspaper because newspapers publish letters, they publish articles, adverts, and a lot of things. And most people buy newspapers. So this letter is addressed to the editor so he can publish it on his in his newspaper. Now, what is the whole subject about? It's about the danger at Oregon Street Park. Now, Oregon Street Park, according to the content of this letter, needs repairs and renovation. A lot of things are not okay, right? For example, the pavement on the basketball and tennis courts, they are crumbling, falling down. They have rusty, broken slides and swing sets, and it's very unsafe for the kids who go there to play. So before any kid can go there to play, or kids can go there to play, they must have to, first of all, get everything fixed up. So the first thing they need to do, according to this letter, they must clean the park. They must pick up the broken bottles scattered all over the ground. And this person is offering their school, Winbar Elementary, they are going to have a field trip. The purpose of the field trip is to go and clean up the park. So they will assemble at Oregon Park at 9 a.m. on October 11th. And they are asking their neighbors in the community to join them to go and clean the park. It's a voluntary work, mind you. This is a work that school kids are going to do just to help, but it's not their work. So the next thing, they are asking the city government to visit the park themselves and see the problems this person is highlighting. It is the duty of the government, mind you, to clean, to pick up broken bottles, fix up the place, put new materials, and especially the basketball and tennis courts. Okay? Everything should be replaced. Now, this person ends his letter by saying, if the community, including the school, they all come together to work, they will have the safest, cleanest, and the most enjoyable park around, right? A new park will provide what? The community with a place to meet, to relax, maybe, a place to go do exercises, a place to go play, especially for the kids. So the students of this school, the students of this school, Winbar Elementary, they are ready to make the change. And they count on the support of the adults, the elders in the community. That's the purpose of this letter. Thank you very much. We've had the letter. We've listened to the letter and discussed the content. Let's see the questions that are asked. After this letter, in the exercise, we have 3 questions. First, what purpose does the writer state in paragraph 1? If we go to paragraph 1, we'll come to that. In the second question is, what are the 2 facts the writer includes to support the purpose of writing? And the third question, from whom does the writer ask support for this purpose? To answer these questions, I'll refer you to this page, which I'm going to share very shortly. Let's see the answers to the questions. The first one is, what purpose does the writer state in paragraph 1? It says, according to what we read, Oregon Park must be cleaned up and repaired because, and also all unsafe equipment must be replaced. And the second question is, what 2 facts does the writer include to support his purpose of writing? First, he says, broken bottles and a rusty slide show that the park is unsafe. That is the first fact. The second fact, crumbling pavement on the basketball and tennis court show that the park needs repairs. The last question, from whom does the writer ask support for this purpose? Who should help fix this problem? Members of the city government and neighbors in the community. Yes, I'm sure you enjoy this lesson again. It's another interesting lesson. And I hope we'll meet again for another very interesting lesson. So thank you once more for being with me. Hope we meet again.